Actual Proof is a two-man team from Raleigh, North Carolina. Sundown and Enigma. Enigma got his name from, I guess because, Enigma is kind of an unknown, like a Riddler type of a person or whatever. And it's kind of how his career blossomed, It's kind of an unknown type of, well, unorthodox type of style, and then it turned into something more, more uniform. And then some days he can come in and just do something totally different, and that's why he's the Enigma. Sundown, that name came from Top Gun, and there's the only black fighter pilot in Top Gun. Had a couple of scenes, couple of roles, and a couple of lines in the movie, and he had the dark shades on, and that's where we got Sundown in his name from. And they're both producers, they're both MCs as well. So that's Actual Proof. That's the first group that we have coming up.
We are Actual Proof. I'm Sundown.
I'm Enigma.
And we are from Raleigh, North Carolina.
We are at WG Enlow High School, the Low, as we call it here in Raleigh. This is where it all started. It's where we pretty much grew up. We always tell each other, if one thing was different, like we'd be afraid to get into like a DeLorean and travel back, because
no.
If one thing changed, we might not be sitting here, right here. I enrolled at North Carolina Central. He was teaching the class, hip hop in context, and I enrolled in the class because Ninth Wonder was a professor there. He asked us if we wanted to go up and check out his studio, and from there.
Back when we were growing up, North Carolina didn't really have its own artist to put the state on the map or the area on the map, so whatever was the end thing at the time, that's what everybody here wanted to be. When Doggy Style was out, everybody wanted to be from the West Coast. When the East Coast got big, everybody wanted to be from there. When the South got big, everybody wanted to be from there. So it's just, everything gets pushed into the little container that is North Carolina.
Yeah, how about this? One time, right, because this is the breezeway, and I was a senior. When you're a senior, you're supposed to be real cool. Had a lot of people knew me and everything like that. And seniors don't run the class. We don't do no running the class. But I was late, and Mr. Clinton don't be playing. So I'm running right, and I had on this all white T-shirt, Rockaway on it, and I'm sprinting down the joint. Right, I'm sprinting down the breezeway. And right when you get down right to that dip, there was a whole bunch of sand, because this was news. There was a whole bunch of sand and stuff like that. Family, when I took a dive, I'm talking about, I fell with my book bag on, everything Genius.
Genius came into existence or whatever. We were sitting in the studio and we looked at our watches, and it was 1:30, 2 in the morning, and it was just us and Ninth, and he ran across a song that he's used before to make a beat, and something hit him, and he said, you know what, I'm just gonna try it. He made the beat, and he looked at us and he said, are you guys ready to rap? And we looked at each other like, yeah. And we asked him, what do you want us to write about? And he said, just say something about genius. He didn't tell us it was gonna be a song, nothing. We didn't write our verses together. I was scanning Wikipedia, just looking for stuff to spark my creativity. I finished my verse. We looked at each other and we were just like, you ready? And he was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah. So we went in and did it, and Ninth put his special touch on it, and we turned around, and 30 minutes later it was what it is now. The professional relationship with Ninth is, via being signed with him and watching him every day and learning from him. But personal, he's really the reason I even knew that you could make beats on a computer. The fact that I'm always asking him questions, I'm always following him around, I'm always trying to see, you know, how he moves in certain situations. It's become almost like the big brother I never had. I have an older sister, but I've never had an older brother figure in my life to, you know, to follow around and really learn from. So he's that for me, and I think that's how, for me, it's more important than music.
When I got the opportunity to meet him, it was like, man, you're like our brother. You know what I mean? Already, you know what I mean? Because it was before we started making music. He was teaching us. We don't talk about just music in the studio. It was, you know, about life and sports and his life lessons and everything like that. And the music, like I said, is, like he said, is a bonus. So like that, like a big brother. We ended up getting 2 dates opening for Reflection Eternal in Charlotte and in Raleigh in June. When we got that news, it was ridiculous. They're the whole reason why I started even rhyming.
When Ninth dropped the news on us, he dropped it really nonchalant. His phone had been ringing, and I said, hey, there's a number that keeps calling you, a 917 number. And he ran out, took his phone with him, and he came back in the studio, and he said, so yeah, you guys are opening up for Reflection Eternal. And he said it so fast and so normal, I didn't even catch it at first. I was just like, okay, yeah. And then about a half an hour later, I looked at him, I was like, wait a minute, what? We're gonna try and be as professional as possible, work out all the nerves before we hit the stage, and have as much fun as we can. Let it all go,
because who knows when you're gonna get this opportunity again. You know what I mean, we leave it. Anybody that knows ActProof shows, and when we do shows, when we get on stage, we leave it all up there like we're not going to be able to perform again. Because you never know. So again, I'm Enigma.
I'm Sundown.
And we're ActProof. You can hit us up on Twitter.com @ActProof. And Facebook. ActProof.
You think it's